All right, so these are some answers to our problems we're working on today. Here, your rule is 6 times x equals y, or y equals 6 times x. Everyone good with that? Here, looks like times 15. 15 times x equals y, or another way of writing it, y equals 15 times x. They both say the same thing. On 3, 4, and 5, if x is 0, 0 plus 4y is 4, 1 plus 4 is 5, 2 plus 4 is 6. Now, you graph them. This is your x, and this is your y. 0, 4, 1, 5, 2, 6, 3, 7. That is a linear equation. It makes a straight line. Let's look at number 4. 0 times 2 is 0, plus 0.5 is 0.5, or a half. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 0.5, 2.5. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 0.5 is 4.5. Now we're going to graph it. X, y. If x is 0, y is 0.5. That's in between 0 and 1. If x is 1, y is 2.5. In between 2 and 3. If x is 2, y is 4.5. And it makes a straight line too, doesn't it? That's a linear. And this one. 0 times 0.5 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 1 times 0.5 is 0.5, plus 1 is 1.5. 2 times 0.5 is 1, because 2 halves equals a whole, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Let's graph it. 0, 1, 1, 1.5, 2, 2. Oh, that one makes a straight line too, doesn't it? Any questions on that? Everyone doing okay? You understand what the lesson's asking? It's not hard, is it? Okay. In number 6, the rule was a little hard in number 6. I could see where you might find it hard for the rule. Now, filling in the box is not hard, okay? Here, 0 is what? My input is x, my output is y. So, if x is 0, what is y? 30. If x is 1, what's your output? If x is 2, what's your output? And the last one, if x is 3, okay. Now, our rule part is a little harder. Since they're going by 5s, it's going to be 5 times x plus something. Okay, 5 times 0 is 0, plus 30 is 30. Let's see if that works here. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 30 is 35. So the rule is y equals 5x plus 30, or 5x plus 30 equals y. Okay? Let's look at number 7's is easier, isn't it? Yeah. I'll tell you, the ones that are the houses are like the type that'll be on your test. This one's easier than number 6. So let's go ahead. X, when these are your x's, when x is 1, what's your y going to be? 5. When x is 2, what's my y going to be? When my x is 3, the y is, what's the last one? When x is 4. Okay, now let's see. The rule is easier on this one, or the equation. How does a 1 turn into a 5, a 2 turn into a 10, and so on? What is it, kids? Right. So, 5 times x equals y, right? Or, what's another way to write it? There. Write them both down so your eyes are familiar with both of them, and your brain is like, oh, this is the same thing as that. Okay. Now, the last problem, and then you have no homework, and we've already graded everything. And you can have a great 3-day weekend. Number 8, multiple representations. The table shows the area of a square with the given side lengths, okay? X, Y. Write an equation, that's the same thing as a rule, that could represent the function. Okay, well, in this problem here, this one's a little tricky. You've not done a rule like this. How does a 1 turn into a 1, a 2 turn into a 2, a 3 turn into a 9? Does anyone know what's happening? It's a hard one. It's a square root. It's squared. Do you remember that? X to the second power equals y. X to the second power equals y. We've not done anything like that for a long time, have we? Or y equals x to the second power. Now, x to the second power means x times x. So, what's 1 times 1? 1. What's 2 times 2? 4. What's 3 times 3? 9. 4 times 4? 16. Yes?
We don't have the same problems. Yes, we do.
Number 8.
Number 8. It's number 8.
This
yeah,
is
that's the one we're on, but it's different numbers. 9? Oh, it is. Exactly. Oh, we have a 0 and 0. We have a 0 and 0.
Oh, you add at the top?
Yeah.
But everything else is the same?
We don't have a 4.
Okay, you don't have a 4 and a 16, you have a 0 and a 0. Thanks for letting me know. So in your books, you have a 0 times 0 is 0. Okay, thank you. And you don't have that one. I can tell you why. Because in the graph, there's no 16, is there? They probably not marked that off. My book, that's just sort of interesting because this one matches my teacher's book. All right. Well, let's just keep on going now and graph it. You have 0, 0. 0 times 0 is 0, right? What's 1 times 1? 1. What's 2 times 2? 4. What is 3 times 3? Now, is that linear or nonlinear? It's nonlinear. It makes a curve, right? Is this a linear function? No. Why? It curves. And we are done with our work. Thumbs up if you understood everything in this lesson today. You thought it was a nice lesson to end on? Okay, now, listen carefully. Freeze.